The opening game of a new season never arrives soon enough for a Super Bowl loser. For 7 long months, the Miami Dolphins have been a faceless team lurking in the shadows cast over them by the Washington Redskins. Against Buffalo, the Killer Bees were anxious to regain some of the respect John Riggins had stripped from them. Miami defense shut out the Bills while Uwe von Schaumann's accurate instep provided 4 field goals in a 12-0 win. The win was Coach Don Shula's 215th career victory, which is 215 more than these 2 rookie NFL head coaches. A return to form that has made him the most productive quarterback in Buffalo history is what the Bills and new head coach Kay Stevenson have been looking for in Joe Ferguson. Against the Bengals, Ferguson found some of his old soft touch by completing 21 of 33 passes. 6 to his fleet-footed favorite Jerry Butler, including 1 good for 14 yards and the game's only touchdown. The Bills slipped by the Bengals by a slim score of 10-6. Cincinnati, like Miami a week before, was unable to penetrate the Buffalo end zone. This team, which only 2 short seasons ago seemed on the verge of dominating their division, now appears on a collision course with disaster. The Bengals' inability to put points on the board may be the league's biggest early season mystery. But for several seasons now, the hex that has hung over the Jets when the Seahawks part of that infamous group, as they proudly took their 1-1 record up to Buffalo and promptly set out to improve it. Number 33, running back Curtis Dickey, provided the majority of the offense by scoring 2 touchdowns, as his young legs instilled new life to the Colts' arthritic attack. However, just when it seemed Baltimore was off and running, 153 yards in penalties and Bill halfback Joe Cribbs stopped the Colts dead in their tracks. Cribbs overshadowed Dickey's performance with 3 touchdowns of his own as Buffalo came from behind to defeat the Colts 28-23. The Houston Oilers stumbled into Buffalo looking to extend a 10-game win streak against the Bills that dates back 17 years. But the shocking and startling departure of Archie Manning and Dave Casper did little to rattle the Oilers out of their winless ways. Houston continued to play with all the aplomb that befits a team that has not won a game in over a year. Number 91, Ken Johnson, led a Buffalo assault that sacked Oiler quarterback Gifford Nielsen 7 times and produced 7 points on its own. Johnson's jarring hit severed the ball from Nielsen's body and into the awaiting arms of number 43, cornerback Dave Kilson, who raced down the sideline for the score. The Bills have yielded just 3 touchdowns in 4 games, and finally against Houston, Buffalo's offense matched its defense in attack and tenacity. Joe Cribbs ran for a personal best 166 yards, and Joe Ferguson fired 2 touchdown passes, one to ageless wonder Frank Lewis, and another to number 8, Jerry Butler. The Bills' 30-13 victory ended Houston's 17-year hex, which at 10 games was the longest domination of one NFL. For the past 18 seasons, Buffalo has entered the Orange Bowl with high hopes, but come away without a single victory. Last Sunday, with nothing to lose, Bill quarterback Joe Ferguson had no intentions of leaving Miami without at least putting up a good fight. Against the #1 pass defense in the NFL, Ferguson threw for 419 yards and a career-high 5 touchdowns, including 2 first-half scores to wide receiver Byron Franklin, number 85. Buffalo's normally inconsistent offense moved the football up and down the field with little difficulty. Unfortunately for the Bills, Miami enjoyed the same luxury. The Dolphins kept the game close, coming from behind time and again throughout the entire afternoon. Forging the comeback trail in his first NFL start was rookie quarterback Dan Marino. Marino's 3rd touchdown pass, hauled in by Mark Clayton with only 3 minutes remaining, gave Miami their first lead of the day, 35-28. However, with only 23 seconds remaining on 4th and goal to go, Joe Ferguson sent the game into overtime with a touchdown pass to Joe Cribbs. In the overtime period, after Miami missed 2 field goal attempts, Joe Danello got his chance from 36 yards out and made good. The 38-35 win not only kept Buffalo tied for the lead in the AFC East, but for the first time since 1966, the Bills would leave sunny Miami with more than just a tan. The lip can slip, the eye can lie, but the nose knows. And the Buffalo Bills knew full well that a win over the Baltimore Colts would give them a 5-2 record and sole possession of first place in the AFC East. But before the Bills got rolling, the Colts sniffed out a 7-0 lead on a flea flicker from quarterback Mike Pagel to Raymond Butler, number 80. That was the last time the Colts would fool the Bills. From that point on, it was all Buffalo. Running back Joe Cribbs, number 20, ran through the Baltimore defense for 105 yards and added another 50 through the air, scoring the Bills' first touchdown of the day. Time and time again, Bills quarterback Joe Ferguson beat the Baltimore blitz. Linebacker Vernon Maxwell, number 56, blitzed on nearly every play. And each time, Ferguson read the charge and located the likes of tight end Mark Bramer, number 86. When the Colts chose not to blitz, Ferguson had more than enough time to throw his 3rd touchdown pass of the day to Frank Lewis, number 82. Three Joe Danello field goals rounded out the Bills' scoring, and indeed the nose knew. The 30-7 win put the Bills alone at the top of the AFC East. Division rivals in Foxborough, who were New England and Buffalo trying to kill? Playing against one of the conference's worst running defenses, the Patriots' strategy was obvious. The Bills couldn't stop running back Tony Collins, who rushed for 147 yards and 1 score. But then again, the Bills couldn't stop much of anything last Sunday. Steve Grogan's 2 touchdown passes to Derek Ramsey, number 88, helped boost the Patriots to a 31-0 win. The victory evened New England's record at 4-4, leaving them only one game behind Buffalo and Miami in the AFC East. The New Orleans Saints, marching to the best start in their history, were stopped cold last Sunday in Buffalo. Saints quarterback Ken Stabler got off just 6 passes before leaving the game with bruised ribs. One of those passes wound up in the hands of Bills cornerback Charles Romes, number 26. Romes was ruled down at the 45-yard line, but that didn't curb the Bills' first-half momentum. Quarterback Joe Ferguson shook off a shutout loss to New England the week before and responded with a textbook misdirection play. With most of the Bills going right, Ferguson looked left and spotted rookie tight end Tony Hunter, number 87. The 40-yard touchdown was Hunter's first as a pro and the second of 4 Ferguson touchdown passes on the day. 2 more went to backup wide receiver Mike Mosley, number 88. Buffalo built a 20-0 lead before the Saints were revived by second-string quarterback Dave Wilson. Wilson threw 3 touchdown passes, including 1 to tight end John Tice, but the comeback came up short, 27-21. The win kept the Bills tied for first in the AFC East. New Orleans lost a beat and dropped to 5-4. But they're hardly down for the count in the NFC West. 2 weeks earlier, the Patriots had stunned the Bills 31-0, and last Sunday it was obvious that Buffalo had still not quite recovered. While quarterback Joe Ferguson threw 4 interceptions in a dreadful 20-for-48 performance, Patriots signal caller Steve Grogan could do no wrong, thanks to wide receiver Clarence Weathers, number 82. Weathers caught only 2 passes on the day. However, he made them both count, scoring touchdowns of 58 and 40 yards. Patriots running back Tony Collins added a 3rd score as New England defeated the Bills 21-7. The win evened the Patriots' record at 5-5 and dropped Buffalo to 6-4. With only 3 games separating the first and last place teams in the AFC East, to pick a division winner would be extremely difficult. The Redskins have a wealth of talent and an impressive record. The New York Jets have a wealth of talent. At Shea, Buffalo put their pads to some of that talent. The Jets seemed to have a grasp on things as they cruised out to a 14-0 lead, highlighted by a 42-yard interception return by number 29, Johnny Lynn. Great teams establish the tempo, get the lead, and keep the lead. The Jets established the tempo and got the lead. They did not keep that lead as veteran Joe Ferguson got hot and fired a pair of 3rd-quarter touchdown passes, one to wiry Byron Franklin, number 85. Ferguson overcame 15 penalties for 110 yards, the most ever by a Jet opponent, and capped a pulsating finish by hitting Joe Cribbs with 22 seconds left for a dramatic win, 24-17. In the stretch drive, great teams get going. The Steelers, Redskins, and Bills are going, while Dallas and Miami uncharacteristically lost. But perhaps this Sunday will be best remembered as the day the Houston Oilers became winners again. Controversial Al Davis had to enjoy what he saw early Sunday, a typical Raider brawl in which the silver and black protected their quarterback while knocking Buffaloes out of the game. The Bills may have rolled over, but they wouldn't die. Trailing 24-3, backup Matt Kofler replaced battered Joe Ferguson and brought Buffalo back with 3 fourth-quarter touchdowns. The tying score came on Kofler's fourth down pass to Perry Tuttle. But it didn't keep L.A. from winning with a field goal on the final play of the game. Two interconference foes with divisional crown aspirations met head-on, with push coming to shove on this hotly disputed play. Ultimately, this Joe Ferguson to Byron Franklin 43-yarder was ruled a touchdown, but it was one of just a few times this afternoon that a Ferguson pass found a Bill receiver rather than a Ram defender. Los Angeles intercepted Ferguson 5 times, with the most damage inflicted on the 60-yard touchdown return by safety Johnny Johnson, number 20. It was only 1 week before that the Rams were victimized by 4 interceptions at the hands of the Washington Redskins. Playing the Redskins is not at all like playing the Bills, as Vince Ferragamo will gladly attest. Ferragamo fired 3 touchdown passes, 2 to wide receiver Preston Denard, as the Rams corralled the Bills 41-17 to take over sole possession of the lead in the NFC West. The same. After being manhandled by their previous 2 opponents, the Bills took charge against Kansas City. Mike Kennedy's interception return, along with halfback Joe Cribb's career-high 185 yards rushing and a Joe Ferguson touchdown pass to Perry Tuttle, helped defeat the Chiefs 14-9. While the 8-6 Bills are looking more toward a wild card spot with Miami at 10-4, a visit to Buffalo in December doesn't usually bring a smile to one's face, but it didn't really matter last Sunday whether Joe Montana was just feeling funny or just being cool. As far as the Buffalo Bills were concerned, their game against San Francisco was no laughing matter, and they took immediate steps to wipe Montana's smile from his face. The Bills sacked Montana 5 times and limited the 49er offense to just 2 field goals in the first half. But while Montana's grin may have been gone, his grit and determination were still very much in place. Montana rallied the 49ers from a 10-6 halftime deficit, leading them on scoring drives in their first 2 second-half possessions. On the day, the NFL's all-time top-rated quarterback completed 18 of 28, while also setting a San Francisco single-season passing record for yards gained. The 49ers enjoyed the last laugh on the Bills as their 23-10 victory further enhanced their NFL playoff hopes while virtually pushing the Bills to the brink of elimination. In Philadelphia, last Sunday, 18 NFL teams packed up and headed home for the holidays. But before Falcon fullback William Andrews boarded the bus home, he wrote his name in the record book beside O.J. Simpson. Andrews became only the 2nd player ever to gain over 2,000 yards rushing and receiving in a season, twice in a career. At the expense of the Buffalo Bills, Andrews caught 7 passes for 49 yards and added another 158 on the ground to bring his season total to 2,176. And number 31's 3 touchdowns were all Atlanta needed to crush Buffalo 31-14.